So I wanted to talk about the SunLu Pla Plus Silver Shiny. This was my first vase print, and at a distance it looks pretty impressive. I like the silver and all the different tones that appear as you're rotating this style geometric vase. And I will probably print the other one much larger. This was my first attempt at a vase. I wanted to do a vase for my wife, and I did this on my Ender 3 by Creality. It is the version 2.0, and I have to say I was a little disappointed. I'm not saying this is not due to human error. I don't know that I allowed I'm impatient, and I don't know that I allowed the print enough time to cool before I attempted to pry it off the glass bed that the version 2 comes with. I used a chisel rather than my scraper to kind of break it loose. Also, while in the beginning of the print, I know they had some odd recommended printing temperatures, such as 70 degrees for the print bed, and I normally print PLA Plus at 60 degrees on my print bed, and I haven't had any issues. The bottoms are slick and it adheres well. Whereas this particular SunLu PLA recommended a 70 degree minimum, 70 to 80 degrees Celsius print bed, and nozzle temp of 235, I believe, is what I set the nozzle. So the V2 can go up. I have a hardened steel nozzle. I haven't made too many upgrades to the version 2. It's pretty much still a stock Ender. But I'm going to show you now some defects. There are some layer lines. I caused some breakage at a seam. So it's far from the perfect print. The bottom wound up looking like this after generally, I'll just pry one corner with the chisel using the angle kind of as a pry bar to leverage, and it'll pop right off. I mean, just pop off the glass very easily on both of my units. Whereas this one was so difficult, I had to work my way all the way around, and then still, eventually it broke. I have a stress fracture here. Here we go. See if you can see that. Damn it. Okay. Hold on 1 second, I'm gonna get my pocket knife. And right here is, I could super glue this. I'm an epoxy guy. I think epoxy would work. However, I'm just gonna print another one. My bed was it turned out my bed was pretty unlevel. I should have went ahead and used a brim, brought it up off the bed, maybe used a thicker initial layer line. I opted for the super simple default settings in Cura on this particular vase, since it was mine, and that was like 0.2 layer height, 0.2 initial layer, 0.4 width. Like I said, it had some oddball temperatures. So overall, it looks pretty cool. But it took 18 hours to print at the 0.2 resolution, and then, you know, price point wise, you know, you're like 10 to 20 bucks if you're thinking about selling it, which hardly makes up for the time. The material was nothing, but if you factor in electricity, to me it seems like a lose-lose from a business perspective. And I'm just talking off the cuff here because I would like to find a way to make money off of some prints. This is not one of my designs. I'm still new to CAD and all the different CAD fusion softwares that are out there. That, however, I've just been working with solely with Cura. I've not spent any time on Fusion 360. Those are videos for another day. I had heard good things about Fusion 360, and I know that there are some other good slicing softwares out there and available. But as you can see, you know, hopefully you guys came here to see this and not to see me, or maybe if you did, then that's great, and I love that, and I hope that y'all will like, subscribe, and share this content. I know my format's a lot different than most channels and less produced at a higher quality, but I wanted to bring some just authenticity to my audience or viewers, because I was just like you, trolling on YouTube and looking for information or searching for truth. Anyway, I wouldn't consider this a successful print after 20 hours to have a break point, especially at PLA plus, or they called it their PLA plus. So I don't know about the strength. I'm gonna run another one. It was only 2 millimeters. I could definitely go in and tweak some settings and print a thicker one with a thicker bottom, etc., and beef it up. I want to say it was only 20%. I might have jacked it up to 25 or 30% infill, but obviously you could go, you know, 100%, 99%, 50% infill, and probably resolve some of the issues. Even drop to a lower and longer print, which, you know, from a financial perspective, if you're not going to sell it or really use it, you're just printing it to print, then it's almost costing you money, which that's great, all said and done if you're learning. Believe me, I've spent several $100s in filament just experimenting. A lot of those turned out to be useful toys for kids that I passed on and handed out to nieces and nephews, or my daughter and my daughter's friends, or if it was something more functional that I was going to specifically use for a purpose, whereas then it's amazing to be able to have this type of technology at our fingertips to do things that were only available to high-end corporations in the past. And a lot of these models, most of my models, come from Thingiverse. If I do ever get into selling them in any way, form, or fashion, then I will make sure that the designers get their fair share, because that's just the type of person that I am, and I totally believe in sharing the wealth, especially when you're a talented and gifted artist. And one day people will, I think of 3D printing as an art form, as almost any true skill set really truly can be honed to become, in my opinion. But hey, that's for another day. Vase print. The SunLu, I'm up in the air. I haven't made a decision yet about how I feel about it. I will print some more with it and get back to you. Probably edit it down to all one video, because I know this is running a little long and I can be long-winded, as my wife says. So just wanted to give you an update though on my vase print that was on the Ender V2. My wife's up in our room binge watching something, and I don't have access to my print station right now. That's why I am broadcasting on Little Idea channel, live and direct from our dining room table here in our humble abode. So I hope you have a positive and productive evening. If you have any comments, I'm open to constructive criticism, and love to hear anybody's ideas and thoughts. Good night.